Okay, welcome to our live stream. Your host is just about to join us.
No watching yet. Maybe I will share it to Facebook.
Yeah, well, it might be slow to start with, but I'm sure people will watch it when we upload it to YouTube later. Someone might want to watch through. So, yeah, today we're going to talk about tips and preparation for traveling to Europe. In our case, it will be Rose traveling to Norway and then also to the UK to see my parents. So our plan is we won't touch on any of the paperwork today. We'll save that for a different day. But we'll talk about all the other preparations you have to do, and how to make the transition as smooth as possible. And I think Rose is a very good example for us to use and for you to learn, because she's someone who's never traveled outside of the Philippines. So yeah, we'll discuss how do you deal with that situation. There's going to be a lot of new things that Rose will experience. Some things will be exciting and quite easy, and then other things will be more difficult and confusing, and probably will make her feel homesick. And they're the ones where a bit of planning really helps to make sure that she settles in nicely and it doesn't become a problem. And because I'm from the UK and I now live in Norway, I've actually got. How's it going? Yeah. Well, I've moved from the UK to Norway. That's not as significant as moving from Philippines to Norway, but it gives me a little bit of idea of what it will be like for her. So yeah, hopefully she can join us in a minute. But yeah, so I can remember I moved to Norway around 9 years ago. So hopefully I'll remember how that experience was for me. And because I was moving for my work, I did have my employer who was helping me out with my settling in process. This time, Rose won't have an employer, and me as her husband will take on the role of sort of in charge of making sure she is introduced to the country and the city in the best way possible. So yeah, that's what we're hoping to talk about today. And because it's our first live that we've done a few little tests, but our first real one might be a bit slow, and you'll have to forgive us if we forget our points or it doesn't run smoothly. But in the future, we'll improve, and hopefully we become a polished outfit, very smooth. But yeah.
Sorry. I think it was muted a little when you are like explaining something, but not too much. For just a while.
Right. Well, I've spoken for 4 minutes, so yeah, it would be useful to know how much was muted. But yeah, and also, if anyone
Ah,
does join,
yeah.
yeah, if anyone does join this stream, or if you're watching it when it's uploaded later, uh, yeah, be sure to click like and comment, drop a comment, whatever you think of what we're saying, whether it's positive or maybe you've got some criticism of what we're saying. We're always interested to hear it. And by commenting and clicking the thumbs up, you help elevate this video so that other people can see it. And then, yeah, if you enjoy the content a lot and you check out some of our other videos, also feel free to hit subscribe as well. And we hope to give you good value for your free subscription over time with future lives and also some videos as well with tips and sharing our experiences. And yeah, over the last few months, we've had a good little boost in subscribers. We're well over 1K now, and we'd like to thank all those new subscribers and welcome them. We haven't officially done that yet, so why not do it on this live? And yeah, we appreciate your subscriptions, and it helps the channel grow. It gives us more possibilities to do future things, so you're very much welcome. And your boss and your main host will hopefully join us soon. Yeah, and it's a long process in many cases when you're applying for a visa and making this permanent move, and that means there's plenty of time to use if you've got a good plan and a good way to use that time. And yeah, that's what we hope to go through today. So everything from from her travel, because Rose will be traveling on her own as well. That's almost certainly she'll be traveling independently. She'll be following a similar travel route to the one I've already taken since I visited. So I will pass on details of that. Then the first few days, and then we'll also touch on once you settled in. It's a long process, so many months down the line, what things can we be doing then? And we have our main host. How lucky we are! She has joined us.
I was late because something happened.
Yeah, well, it's good you can join. So I've given a quick
Um,
introduction. Is there anything you'd like to add?
we can share this first.
To add? Yeah, that's a good idea. So I think my plan was to go through this in chronological order. So, like in time, we can start with your travel, and then we'll move into what we're going to do in the first few weeks. And then towards the end of the live, we'll talk about the final stages of settling in, that maybe they are 1 or 2 years in the future. It seems like Rose has frozen, but I'm sure she will rejoin us soon. She's actually in the Manila area at the moment, and we always joke that that normally means her internet is slightly better than if she's in the province where her rest of her family live. So yeah, shouldn't be too long. And yeah, once she joins, we will hopefully get underway. We have a couple of people watching, so yeah, welcome to those people joining. Yeah, thank you for taking time out of your Saturday evening. I gave a quick intro of what we'll talk about, but we're going to talk about basically everything that's not the paperwork, to do with how do you settle in to that new country when you're moving there for the first time. Hello.
I'm in George. Yeah, I just shared it to the face to my Facebook
Okay. Yeah,
live.
that's a good idea. That's a good idea. And yeah, I think we can make a start. I've given a couple of introductions, so
Maybe we can wait
Yeah, but
So
also, remember that this will be uploaded to your channel afterwards, and I'm sure people don't want 20 minutes of silence at the start with us just saying we're waiting. So I suggest we get underway, and we assume that we won't get that many people watching live. People will watch it later, probably. So should we start with the travel? That will be the first part. What have we
wait,
got for what? Okay, we've just had a very strong wait, and then the camera's frozen. Maybe it's more sharing. Maybe we have to share it in more places. But yeah, my suggestion is we get underway as soon as possible. But I'm I'm not the boss here, so yeah, let's see how it goes. But yeah, and of course, when you're still in a long distance relationship, you are working together as a team, but your planning will be in two places. So Rose will be preparing in the Philippines, and I will be doing some preparations in Norway. How's it going? This is probably the internet standard that many Filipinos know and love and are so familiar with. Um, yeah, I'm hoping it does improve.
wait. Can you wait another viewer before
Yeah,
you take? Just relax.
well, we can, but as I keep saying, this will be uploaded eventually, won't it? This will be
Okay,
uploaded.
then maybe we can wait.
Yeah. Okay. But I wouldn't be surprised if you're waiting until your very last breath. This is the first live, so I don't expect that many live viewers. I think,
This is our first live. Hope you were
yeah,
support. Trial and error.
yeah. Well, the first couple of practices we've done have been 1 or 2 minutes, and it's just to make sure that it works. And then this is the first go at doing a full live, and it does help when the host stays in her seat. But I'm
Can
sure
we
she's got.
please post this in Facebook?
Sorry, one more time.
Our live, we can share it first in
Yeah,
Facebook.
I thought you had already done that. I thought
No,
the whole
in my account.
right. Yeah,
Wait lang.
you can do some of that. If anyone manages to watch this first 15 or 20 minutes on the when it's uploaded later, we thank you so much because it's a chaotic start. And if anyone has sat through the first 15 minutes of this, I'm very, very grateful because we haven't really given you anything just yet. You'll have
And
to write a
Gcash.
comment. Yeah. If
Now
someone,
we will give Gcash.
yeah, well, I was going to say, write something in the comments. I survived the first 15 minutes. Then we'll know.
Write in a comment. Again,
Yeah.
George.
Again, I was just saying if anyone has watched the first 15 minutes, that they should write a comment saying, I survived the first 15 minutes, and then we will know that someone did watch them.
Yeah, there is someone watching. Two people.
Yeah, in which case I suggest we get into the topics because those people they're giving us their valuable time on a Saturday evening or afternoon, and they will log out if we don't start. So I suggest we start with the travel. So
Wait, wait lang.
yeah, Filipinos will be familiar with the phrase "wait lang." It's the answer to most things. But we will, I assure you, as soon as I have permission, we will start with the travel.
How can I share this to my page, Facebook page?
Yeah, I'm not the one with the experience of running a YouTube channel. I'm here to give the content. My only suggestion would be I would do this before I start the stream. I wouldn't do it during.
Yeah, because you're starting talking already.
Because you clicked live, and I thought that would be a good time to start filling the content in. Someone will watch this on the rerun.
Dance ka na lang, George. We don't have music.
Yeah, well, if we can start our content and give it full gusto with our content, we won't need music to keep the content going. We're good enough on our own without music.
But it's okay. Like we will have live or
Mhm.
we will wait.
Right, okay. And viewers will leave as we're waiting.
Yeah, I'm late.
Why are you late then?
I was locked in my room.
Yeah, okay. So maybe you should plan to make sure you're in your right room well before your start time, not 10 minutes before. It's okay. Luckily your guest was on time. Just let me know when you're ready to start.
Only one.
Yeah, and
Wait lang.
it's me as well, by the way. It's not anyone else, it's me.
No, it's not you. It's Eden.
Trust me, it's me on my laptop.
Oh, see? Someone commented.
hmm
It's not you because you're in a live, so someone is watching
Yes,
beside you.
but I do have a second account and I do have a laptop and a phone. Oh yes, it is
I
you.
don't know that.
Okay, right.
Can you log in my Wait lang. Wait lang ha. I will share this.
Okay.
Paano ba to?
There will be there has to be some sort of prize or like a shout out in our future video for anyone who watches these 20 minutes. I mean, you've got a special place reserved in heaven from us for doing so, because yeah, even though I would have liked to have given you some information, uh,
Now we will share it
we've been told to wait
again.
multiple times. Uh-huh.
Apurado man.
I'm normally
Wait
told to
lang.
wait, relax, slow down, just on a loop. Those three things: wait, relax, slow down. Wait, relax, slow down. Whereas the rest of my life, I was told go, 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 do stuff. Yeah. Hopefully, the sharing happens nice and quick, and then we can get underway. Hope everyone's enjoying their Saturday evening as well. Now, maybe these first 20 minutes will get cut out, but the plan was for the main discussion, the main part of the live, the plan was for that to be around an hour. But I don't think Rose wanted to start until we got down to 0 viewers, because we were up to 2, but she wanted it to get down to 0 before we started.
Wait lang. For a
Wait.
minute. Wait lang. Promise. Last time. I
Okay.
will just share it to group.
Yeah. They'll probably come here, they'll see this and think, "Oh, I'm off." But yeah, we hope to get underway in the next few minutes. Apologies for the slow start. Yeah, and like we've referred to, this will be uploaded onto the channel, so that you can watch it at a later date. Maybe some of this early part is edited out because it's a bit slow, but the main tips and advice that we're going to give will be uploaded for you to watch at a convenient time for you. Yeah, there's not much more I can add until we get the go ahead to start the stream. Hopefully we are starting very soon. We'll be discussing all the preparations that you can do before you make that journey to start your time together and end that long distance. So, and this is a really big event and a big deal for the person traveling, because like in our case with Rose traveling, this is the first time she has traveled outside of the Philippines. So the new and surprising things, they don't start when she lands in Norway. They actually start the minute she leaves Manila on the plane. It's all new. And so we will hopefully go through all of the things we can do to make that as smooth as possible, because it's almost one of those events that's it's such a big event. You're best off not thinking about it too much, because it might blow your mind, like the size of it. But there is preparations you can do before you make that travel, and that's what we're going to share today. Like some of the things I've been doing in Norway, like maybe like to do with my apartment, to do with things Rose needs when she gets here, and then also things that Rose is doing in the Philippines, because there's some things she can prepare in the Philippines. And we won't touch on the documents. Kind of two reasons. Number one, these documents are going to vary country to country. Number two, we're still finishing that ourselves, and we might touch on that in another live, especially if we can find some tips that are relevant for like multiple countries. They're not specific to a certain country, because if we start doing country specific tips, then maybe we're here for 12 hours doing a live. So Yeah.
Okay. Um.
How's it going? Are you ready to start, or are you going to wait?
Okay. Um. We will wait one person to watch, or two-person to watch.
Okay. I think
Hi
you just
guys, I
start.
have here. Look, this one. This is wait. Um. This is for your documents, envelope,
Hmm.
for traveling, like so that safe for rain. Look,
Hmm.
you can put your passports here and your documents here.
So,
So this
do you?
is only 1,000. If you want to buy or order, just message my Facebook page, The Journey with Rose. And then here, this is a vacuum uh, tumbler if you want to buy. So just message or to order and carry this in your
And that folder you showed, Rose, is that the? Are you going to use something like that with your documents when you're traveling?
You have my documents here. Like here, these are the requirements for the visa. Um, no. This Monday I will go to embassy to register our marriage certificate, and these are my requirements. Apostle or authenticated marriage certificate,
Mhm.
Sinumar,
Yeah,
live birth.
but just so we've got continuity in this live, I did just say to the viewers that we probably won't touch on the documents today for two reasons. Number one, we're still in the process ourselves, and
Oh, it's
number
not documents about visa, but it's a
yeah,
documents for register
yeah,
to register our marriage certificate.
okay,
Traveling to
yeah. And my second reason for not doing the visa documents was um, because there's many variations between different countries. So
but
yeah,
yeah, we will give some tip only and advice.
yeah. My suggestion would be if we've got some general tips on paperwork that isn't specific to a
Yeah.
certain country. Yeah, but today we're going to focus on all of the tips that are to do with making that transition, traveling, and that are not to do with paperwork. So, all the little things we've been preparing. So, I was thinking of going in chronological order, starting with the first thing. So, the first thing will be uh, the flights, won't it, when you travel? Um, and so, one of the first things we've done is George has I've travelled the route that Rose will hopefully travel later. And so I've been able to report back on what it's like and what she can expect. And how's that been, Rose? Is that useful? Like I can tell you about the airports, for example.
Yeah. Your experience traveling back and forth, Philippines to UK and Norway.
Yeah, yeah, I think that'll help a little bit. And maybe I've planned too much, but when I travelled back after my last visit in June, I even wrote a little diary of what I saw along the way. And of course, every journey is different. So Rose's journey will have her own unique plus points and negatives. So it will never be the same as mine, but at least she's got some ideas of what the journey will be like. And I was saying to the viewers earlier that this is the first time you've traveled outside of the Philippines.
Yes, it's my
Mm.
first time. I just tried to travel around Philippines by plane for only 1 hour and a half.
Hmm. But yeah, having a bit of having the experience with the plane is a good start because it
Yeah,
means
different because here
Mhm.
traveling here on takes only 1 hour and a half than traveling to Norway. It takes how many hours?
Yeah, you'll have two flights which are between 8 and 10 hours, and then you'll have one or two smaller flights of around 2 hours.
My first time traveling here only in Philippines, I feel I want to vomit. I don't know.
Yeah, but yeah, also
Hope
thinking about travel, you've also done the long travel because you've done like journeys on coaches and buses that last 24 hours. So you've experienced the flying, you've experienced the long travel, you just haven't put them together in a long flight until now.
and hope I will not feel sick and
Mhm.
yeah because it's cold and
Yeah,
then you don't know the feeling in the airplane for how many hours and
yeah,
then of course I'm scared but I know I can make it even
yeah.
I don't know the place yet and then of course I'm shy every time I go outside
Yeah.
um even like traveling only here around the Philippines I'm
Mm,
shy that
yeah.
I'm
But, but
commute. But
that's
commuting here in the city in Manila, it's very difficult also. But it takes how many hours also traveling to other provinces here,
mm,
but using bus.
yeah. Let's go back to the sickness and the temperature points. So sickness is generally very person specific. So I don't suffer from travel sickness at all, as far as I know. So I'm not the best person to give advice. I'm sure there's some measures you can take. For instance, I would guess being careful with what you eat. There's probably some foods which are less nauseating and some foods which are more nauseating and make you feel sick. So I would look
I
at things like that. I would also look at how you sleep and how you rest as well, because that can be an issue. Planes are always filled with lovely paper bags if you need to use them for sick. What a lovely topic.
I like eating sweet when traveling.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably good in a way because you'll have lots of options. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that would say, oh, you don't eat too much sweet stuff. And while that is true at a certain point, it is also not a bad thing, as I'm a great believer in when you travel, you actually burn a lot of energy. Some of it is walking. You'll be surprised how many kilometers you cover walking in airports, but also the mental energy. So, when it comes to the amount of energy you burn in a day, I can't remember the exact statistic, but it's actually your brain that burns a very big amount of your daily energy. And so, when you're traveling, your brain is active for long periods, looking at flight times, checking your luggage, going to the restroom. So, yeah, having a good source of energy, having food that is appealing to you is well worth it. And if that means eating a bit more sugar than usual, I would say that's not a bad thing at all.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. And the other one is the temperature. So, this is something, as someone from Northern Europe, I've never really considered aeroplanes as cold. They're just normal temperature to me. But noticing it when traveling to the Philippines, I will see, particularly the Filipinos, they will use the blankets that you get supplied by the airline, and they'll wear extra jackets when they're on the plane. And yeah, it's never that warm when you're in a plane. And if you're used to the temperature never dropping below 25, 26, then bringing a few extra layers for the plane is a good idea, particularly if you plan to sleep. Because when you sleep, because you're burning a lot less energy when you sleep, your core body temperature does drop. So yeah, they do provide blankets on the airlines, but extra layer of clothing is a good tip.
Mm-mm. And I'm glad that I prepared some jacket. Actually, did you bring already some jacket there? And then I just uh, keep the
Mm.
warmer clothes.
Yeah, so what Rose is referring to is, yeah, when I was there in June, I took one suitcase back with me full of Rose's items, and the whole point of our plan was that I would take the heavy items so that she had less to travel with. And we did a good job, we thought, because I picked out the heaviest sweatshirts and jackets, um, but I forgot completely about footwear. So
Maybe
Rose has all of the footwear left, and that will be quite heavy.
the boots. You didn't bring the boots.
Yeah, I was just explaining to the viewers that in our careful calculation of George taking all of the heavy stuff, we forgot to consider any of the footwear, which is almost always heavier than the clothes. So that was a small error.
And then the my other suitcase. Maybe it's good that if we bring that here in Manila when we travel that day.
Yes, yeah, that was an option. Yeah, but I don't. That doesn't make too much difference. That's yeah. You will bring it when you get back to Manila, ready for travel.
That's heavy to carry.
Yeah, and so this is a good point. There'll probably be lots of little Filipinas watching who would find most suitcases heavy. And so, yeah, you can hopefully you could get your partner to help out. That's maybe one way. And the other thing is, when you're traveling, don't be afraid to ask for some assistance. There's always people available to help you. And of course, getting a suitcase that has wheels, ideally four wheels, will help you a lot. And then when you're in airports, look for the lifts and the escalators. You don't, if it looks like you have to use steps, you're there's probably an easy option if you look around. There's a lift close by. So yeah, definitely don't strain yourself.
It's good also, George, that if aside of the jackets you will bring some foods.
Yeah, because foods are heavy. I think this ties with my next point of really when you travel, the most you're going to be allowed is two large suitcases. And a lot of people would find that impossible to pack all their belongings into two suitcases. Um, Rose has been very good with this. She's never really complained too much. The only thing I do notice is she might overestimate what she can fit into these two suitcases. And it is good to take some food items. It reminds you of home. It helps you with the transition. Everything else is going to be new. So having a few comfort foods will at least mean that the food isn't totally new. But food is both heavy and it takes up a lot of space. And it can be bought in Norway. Like, believe it or not, we have food shops in Norway.
My
So, Go
my
ahead.
rosy coffee so that I can sell it in Norway.
Yeah, you can do a little bit of that, but of
Like if
course,
I want to order a rosy coffee, corn coffee malunggay with mangosteen, just
yeah,
message.
your coffee that you take to Norway will be a collector's item though, because the most you
Commercial.
could the most you could fit in your suitcase would be maybe 10, wouldn't it? It would be maybe 10 coffees. So yeah, you can't do it as a business because you don't have space to take 1,000 coffee pouches. You
Okay,
can
we
just,
will give it to your coworkers only.
yeah, what, doesn't matter who, it's just there's a limit, and you'll probably find that it's about three packets of coffee, because
To your friends.
a suitcase does soon fill up if you're taking food, toiletry and healthcare things, clothes. It will soon fill up. Of course, you're tiny, so your clothes are a bit smaller, but still,
Yeah, you can. Will be. I will be fit in your
yeah.
suitcase.
And by tiny, I'm hopefully not being mean. I just mean that I'm 6'1", 6'2", so Rose is smaller than 6'1". That's all I'm going to say.
And then,
And then, oh, she might even be smaller than 6 foot. But yeah, but the clothes is one of the bigger issues because we have very different climates. Uh, where Rose lives, it's probably never below 24 degrees ever. Whereas Norway, we maybe have 15 days a year, 12 days a year where it gets above 24. And then most of the time it's less than half of that, less than 12. So that means that we've had to put a big focus on Rose's wardrobe. She's got loads of nice outfits for the hot weather, but the warm clothes, yeah, we've bought all sorts of things. A few items Rose has got from Manila. There's some specialist shops where you can buy winter clothes, but for like the important items, I've been buying them in Bergen, Norway. So like if she needs a very warm jacket, or like a waterproof jacket that's, it's not just kind of waterproof, it's very high quality. And the reason that matters is because in Norway it can be raining and about 4 or 5 degrees. So in the Philippines, if it rains, quite often you're happy. You run outside and it can be fun because it's warm. In Norway, you can get very very cold if you're not dry.
um, it will be negative 15.
Well, this winter, so winter 2000,
February.
yeah, 2023's winter, in February this year we had minus 15 in the town next door. So this town was about minus 10. That is slightly colder than usual. A normal winter, you can expect -5 for sure. Uh, Something like -8 is what Rose can expect, maybe -10. So we also need to remember that Rose, as we said, she's tiny, she's smaller than 6 foot, and her body is not used to anything. It's not, doesn't even know, her body doesn't even know what 15 degrees feels like. So my approach has been, I would rather buy too many clothes and dress her up in too many layers than for her to get a little bit cold. So yeah, what items are interesting or fun for you? What is it? Is it the hats and gloves? Is it the big jackets? What are you looking forward to wearing?
The coat.
The coat. And
Like
why is that?
like a wall coat that
Yeah. Hmm.
they
Yeah. So a wool coat is great when you've got cold and dry weather.
Dry weather?
Yeah,
Yeah.
cold and dry.
I
Yeah.
like boots.
Uh,
Because we don't wear boots before, so I'm excited
mm,
to wear it in Norway. How
yeah.
about when we will travel to UK?
Yeah. So traveling to the UK. Hmm.
Um, it how many hours from Norway? Example, from
Yeah.
Norway to UK, traveling to Norway to UK. No, yeah, from Norway to UK.
Yeah, traveling to the UK from Norway is about 2 hours in the plane.
Yeah, 2 hours. And
Yeah.
then if we will travel this December or maybe next year, so
Mm.
it's still cold winter.
Yeah, so Norway and UK have the same seasons. If it's cold in Norway, it will be cold in the UK. The only difference is Norway has it more extreme. So if it's the cold time of year, Norway will always be colder than London.
Yeah, yeah, in London. Actually,
Mm.
um, I have a student in London.
Mm. Yeah, and for people watching who don't know the background, I'm British, so I'm from the UK. I'm from a small island just south of London, and I studied in London. I then moved to Norway when I got my job offer to work in the oil industry. I'm a geologist, so a scientist, and that's why we're talking about the flying, because I fly back to the UK to visit my family, my parents and my sister. So it's that would be in our plans when Rose gets to Norway. She would also have a trip to the UK, and we were also going to talk on this live a little bit about how you start planning a trip to London or one of the other big cities in Europe like Paris or Rome or Berlin.
Yeah, Paris someday.
Yeah, well, we're probably focused on London first because it's a little bit easier, and yeah, it should be an exciting place to visit for someone who, yeah, is not familiar, hasn't been to the UK. So yeah, we've had some fun planning that.
Yes, and then we will visit your school there, and then the Oxford University.
Yeah, maybe we can't get to Oxford because that's just outside of London, but we can go to London and visit
Okay,
Imperial.
London only.
Yeah, yeah. So the plane will fly into just south of London. So it does take a bit of effort getting into London from the airport, but it's yeah, and who knows what time of year we visit, but I think London can be very nice in winter and in summer. So central London doesn't get snow very often. It only gets a little bit, and it's not too rainy. A lot of people think it's famous for rain, but London is not as rainy as other parts of the UK. So it can still be quite nice in winter there.
So for you, where is the best place for you?
You mean for me to live or tourist visiting?
To live or yeah, even to visit, like a vacation.
Okay, so both. Well, living, it depends what stage of your life you're at. Some people are very good and they can use one place that is suited for their life when they're young and when they're old. But yeah, I've through my choice of job, I've started quite an international lifestyle. and there will always be different places in the world that suit different phases of your life. You also have to remember, if you are having a family, you need some stability and settling in one place in most cases. But there's quite often there's chances to travel somewhere, might be better opportunities. I will always have bias to my home town and my home island. Like most people, you generally like where you grow up. Um, Norway, I mean, it's given me a very nice job, and I'm sort of in a city, but also near mountains. So there's some really good points about here as well. And also visiting the Philippines. Like, there's a lot of incredible things about the Philippines. Like, it's a lot more relaxed, and people are very sociable. There's lovely beaches. A lot of things are affordable.
Yes. We can visit also Bermuda or Ireland. Earlier, I'm talking to my students and we are free to the accommodation in Bermuda because my student had a Airbnb. And
Mm.
then in Ireland, he showed to me the our room. He is
Oh,
our
yeah, very nice. So
client.
Ireland is a very, very nice place. It's a bit like the west of the UK. It has a bit more rain than the UK, but it's
Yes.
very green and, yeah, very nice. Do you remember where in Ireland?
What?
What? Do you remember where in Ireland?
Again, I can't hear.
Okay, the question was, do you remember where in Ireland?
Oh, in Ireland? I forgot, but we have
Hmm,
a tour. I mean, we have a class and then he
I
showed to
know.
me the place.
I know.
And
You told me that bit. I was just wondering if you knew the place. Don't worry.
it's not in a Dublin, it's a
No. Well,
somewhere only.
somewhere in Ireland, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean,
But
the west coast of Ireland is very rugged and remote,
it's
so that can be,
only
yeah, that can be very like picturesque and nice. The south, the south has got sort of loads of old places and quite a bit of heritage, and places like Cork and, yeah.
it's very peaceful. The ambience is
Mm,
colorful because it's raining.
yeah,
But the houses it's look like castle.
yeah, it's very nice, and I,
And
I've
then
actually
the
I've
sorry.
actually I
Interrupt.
followed someone online who uh, restored an old cottage in the west coast of Ireland. It's very popular to do that. It's very affordable as well, but the cottages are not very modern, so you have to do some work to renovate. But yeah, a lot of people really enjoy that lifestyle, and Ireland is, it's a bit like Bergen in that you get quite a lot of rain, but it's
Yeah,
mild. You don't get Doesn't go below zero very often.
we can go anywhere in Europe because I have a students in Europe, and then
Yeah,
yeah,
you're like, yeah, well, I can, but you can't because you need visas to start with. I can go anywhere. I can go anywhere in Europe, well, except
we can go to
Russia,
Spain, to
Belarus.
Japan, to
Yeah,
Saudi,
but
to Dubai with my
mm,
cousins. With my
yeah,
cousin.
yeah, but it all takes a lot of planning. And for example, Western Europe, most of Western Europe are very well developed countries, so that means accommodation, food, transport will all be expensive. So it's not like Philippines hopping around. Eastern Europe is a lot more affordable and has got some very interesting culture. Lots of places, like whether it's Hungary and Slovakia or Poland, Bulgaria. There's,
Poland.
yeah, there's lots of interesting places to visit. Um, yeah.
I have friends there. We can live. They said if I visit there or we will visit there, we can sleep to their room. To their apartment. We have an
Yeah.
extra apartment.
Uh-huh. And I think you should also consider Southern Europe because that will feel a little bit more like the Philippines.
Like,
So Southern Europe, countries like Portugal, Spain, Italy, Greece.
yes, I like Italy and Greece.
Okay. Um, yeah, they've all got similarities to the Philippines. So
Been in
really,
Italy, right?
sorry,
You've been in Italy already.
in Italy. Yeah, well, the warmest country is probably Spain or or Greece, Spain or Greece, like in the south. Those, especially, yeah, I'm thinking of Spain. It doesn't even in winter. It's still 20 degrees or 18 in winter. So, and then in summer, Spain was very hot in summer this year. It was 45 degrees some of the time. So, but they're very nice places to go to in winter. Like a lot of British and Norwegian people, we will go to southern Spain in the middle of winter because we escape 0 degrees and we get 18 degrees and we're in heaven.
Yeah, when you did cycling in Spain,
Mm.
right? It's very hot.
Yeah,
Summer.
so I cycled in March in Mallorca, so that's an island, and because it was March, it was perfect. It was about 18 to 22, ideal. But then I cycled in the south of Spain in July, and it was a lot of sun and around 30. I was on the coast, so not too bad. But yes, very hot.
Yeah, it's tropical.
Yeah, it's more what they call semi-arid. So it's like almost a desert, Spain, but it's not that tropical. There's not much rain. So yeah, but it's a good place to explore if you want to come to Europe and you're from a hot country because some aspects of Spain will remind you of home, and if you're a Filipino, a little bit of the Spanish language will feel a bit familiar because Tagalog and Spanish have a little bit of similarities. I'll hand you over to our language expert to explain more.
Yeah, because we've been colonized by Spaniards. So our we have borrowed words from Spanish. And then some names it's from Spanish. Like my name. Not my last name, my surname is from
Mm.
Spanish. We have a blood. My father's side had maybe a small amount blood of Spanish.
Mm. And it must make sense that you also share some cultural similarities with Spain.
Yes, because for like Christianity.
Yeah, and I know this will make some Filipinos laugh. I know that Spanish people, they're very relaxed and they do things at their own pace. They don't get up too early. They go to bed late. I think there's definitely some crossover between
And some foods here.
similar foods, you think, as well. Yeah.
Spanish bread.
Yeah. No, yeah, there is definitely some similarities between Spain and Philippines.
Empanada.
Mm, yeah.
Okay, we can share now because it's almost one. Oh, it's already 1 hour. So maybe we can give some advice and tips about like preparations, not
Mhm.
only for my things like jacket, preparation for my traveling, like my clothes, my all winter jackets, because when if I will arrive there December to February, it will be cold. And then even we if we will travel in UK also. So aside of preparing some clothes, and some boots or any um thing you need to wear. So aside of that, of course, you're gonna prepare yourself also, and you're gonna prepare some requirements. It takes a lot of time processing for your visa, and you need a patience waiting for your visa.
Yeah, yes, that's right. Um, maybe you don't want to talk about clothes too much more, but I think there's a few more points. Um, the 2 points I was thinking of, number one, really research the weather in the place you're going to. And by that, I mean the not the country, the actual city or town or village, because it can vary a lot within a country. So, for example, if you say the word Norway to Filipinos, some of them won't really know where that is.
Yeah, me
And
too.
yeah,
This time.
very common that people won't know much about it. And if they do, they might know the weather and they'll say, "Oh, it's really cold." And yeah, that's correct. But with that knowledge, it's really cold, there's snow, you would buy yourselves lots of big fluffy jackets. And for most of Norway, that's great. The part of Norway I live in, it gets some snow, but it also gets a lot of rain and a lot of cold, rainy snow. Sounds delightful, doesn't it? But so if you came with all your big fluffy jackets, you would forget a very important element, and that is that most of your clothes need to be waterproof as well as warm. A big
Yeah,
fluffy,
and
yeah,
jacket.
yeah, a big fluffy jacket in 3 degrees and rain kind of snow is no good at all because it will get wet and then you'll still get cold. So luckily, I've been here for 9 years, and I can buy Rose the items she needs. So it's some are fluffy jackets, some are waterproof, and sometimes you get a jacket with a fluffy lining and then a waterproof outer, and that is perfect.
Yeah, leggings, thermal.
Exactly. That was my next point. My next point was don't fall into the trap of thinking I need 20 big jackets and 5 pairs of boots. There's a lot more to it than that. And one thing, again, Filipinos or anyone from a hot country won't be used to is long thermal underwear. And that's like a long sleeve t shirt that's quite close fitting, and then some leggings as well. And you
I
can, yeah.
I don't have, and I
Oh,
don't have. So
yeah, well, Rose does not own these items because why would you have that item in a hot country? You wouldn't. But we have them ordered, so we have yeah a couple of full sets of long thermal underwear and then some other thermal items, and these are really important. The first items you put on, and then you build out layers before you put your big jacket over the top, and then
and
yeah, your extremities are also very important. So your head, your hands, and your feet. So your socks, gloves, hats. make a big difference. And yeah, we've been steadily buying some of these items. So Rose will look very cute with them all on.
What?
You will look very cute with all of the hats and gloves and jackets on you.
I will be look like a kid
Yeah,
because
well, that,
they will not.
maybe,
I will cover my face in my scarf, so they will not know if I'm a kid or adult. They they will just notice my height.
right, okay. Yeah.
That's why when we're walking here in Philippines, I don't walk along with you because you are
Mm,
tall. Joke.
yeah, and that reminds me of another thing. So it's true that Norway is very dark in winter. Our days are very small because the sun is very weak. And that can make you think, oh, it's going to be very dark. But Norway, because we know we're a country with a lot of darkness, we have incredible street lights everywhere you go. And this is okay. I'm in a city, but even in smaller villages, you've got amazing street lights. So even though it is dark, you're never going to feel like you can't see where you're going. And also brownouts and power cuts. We never have them here. Almost never. Maybe I keep saying one a year, but it's less than one a year that we have a brownout. So, yes, our winters can be dark, but we have incredible lights. For example, I cycle to my office in winter. I know I'm a bit crazy, but the journey there, I still use lights on my bicycle, but it doesn't really feel like I'm cycling in the dark because the whole way, 15 kilometers, you have these amazing street lights, and that really helps make it not feel too dark in winter.
Yeah, it's dark there, so maybe I will be lazy there. I don't like going out here, even if it's not dark. Even
Mm,
if yeah, I don't go out
yeah.
when not needed. When it's if I don't need to go out, I just go
Mm.
out when to buy something. So if I will or I'm working outside, so there it's difficult when it's raining, cold, and dark. So maybe we'll be lazy.
Yeah, and that's very normal. And local people will plan their activities based on the weather. And that's very wise to do. So when you get a bright sunny day, like today is bright and sunny, you make an effort to do things like, oh, did I want to go to the shop and get food? Did I want to visit my friend, go to town? Like you you make use of the good weather if you've got some long trips to do outside or do some gardening. Whereas if you know, okay, we've got 3 days of bad weather coming, you don't try and do too much unless it's an emergency. You might do some things inside the house. And a lot of introverts in Norway say they like it when it rains because it's relaxing. They don't feel they need to do anything outside and they can just do fun things inside. And I've learned
There's
that. Uh,
inside the house.
sorry?
There's a lot of fun inside the house if you have only internet.
Yeah, internet and a good imagination.
Are only out is indoor, like
Yeah,
filming inside the house, drawing, painting,
yeah. The most
some
important most
crafts.
important thing is imagination. The internet is probably second, but the most is yeah, imagination. Like you can do whatever your mind can think of, and um, yeah, like the seasons. Like it's not just the weather; it's the the variation in weather that will shock you a little.
It's nice to sleep when it's dark and cold.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's right. It's
That
perfect for sleeping.
if it's raining here, no one we don't like to go out. Sometimes if it's like um typhoon, of course no classes. So we like that.
Mm. Yeah, the only problem in Norway is nothing really stops, no matter how bad the weather gets. So
You will influence me, I think. Uh
yeah, yeah,
and
and Norwegians will influence.
good influence like workout, um, eating healthy foods, and then cycling.
Yeah, if you haven't guessed, I'm a bit of a cycling fanatic, but yeah, she doesn't have to cycle. It's more just
Yeah, it. We will cycle
very good,
uphill
very
because
good.
I'm cycling going up than going down. I'm scared when it's going down.
Yeah. Well, if you want to cycle uphill, you're going to get very good fitness because that's very good for that. But the main, the broader message here is that Norway is famous for its natural beauty, and you have a lot of freedom to walk almost anywhere you want. And okay, the weather can be challenging, but it's a great resource. And if you don't go hiking or do an outdoor activity in Norway, that's quite a lot that you miss out on. So, yeah, Rose might not be used to doing lots of that. So, we'll build it up slowly and have the right equipment and clothing.
Yes. Um, I mean, I will be like in the long run, I will accept it and adapt the weather.
Mm, that's it. There's no point in rushing the process. It will happen at the speed it happens, and there'll always be surprises. So some things you might enjoy. You might say, "Oh, I love the rain," or "I love the darkness," or "I
Like
like
the snow.
yeah the snow," for example. And then there's some
I want
things, yeah, some things will shock you more. So maybe you have expectations that the food will be okay, and it just takes you a bit longer, and that's okay. Takes you as long as it needs to. So, yeah, people coming from Asian countries, I guess their first concern is, can I get the basics? Can I get rice in this country? And the answer to that is very easy. It's a yes. We have a lot of rice. It's just that we also eat potatoes and pasta and bread and oats. So we have a variety of carbohydrates, but we have plenty of rice. And even as Westerners, most Westerners will eat rice twice a week, I would say. Twice a week, maybe even more. So you will always find rice in our supermarkets. If you want Filipino foods, we have special Asian supermarkets. Some of them are great, some of them are not so good. So hopefully you should be able to find a lot of things, but you will never be able to find everything.
no someone message me. Can you see it if there's a comment box in
Uh,
our video? Because they said there's no comment box. They want to comment, but there's no comment box.
I think there should be. I have a feeling on YouTube it slightly changed positions recently, but 1 second, I'll just see if I can get it up while we're talking. But yeah, go ahead, talk about the food. What are your expectations on the food?
Expectation in Norway.
Yeah,
Actually, I don't know some food in Norway, but I like because I like drinking hot. I like soup.
Hmm.
So yeah. So I like
Yeah, we have a lot of soups in Norway. We we normally have it of a more sort of creamy, so it's a bit more filling. But yeah, we use soups in the hot weather. We normally have it with bread rather than rice, but there's no reason you can have it with rice too.
actually I will miss the Filipino food because here of course
Mm,
I can buy some Filipino food there or I can find so that I can and then I will try to cook some Filipino food.
mm. Okay, so I've just checked that the chat is working. It seems that yeah, you can't. Just to be clear, you can't put a comment under the video yet because the comments I think only come active once we've uploaded this. But if you want to drop a message, you just drop it into the chat.
But some even there are some live in YouTube. You can still comment.
I don't know about that. Normally, you only write a comment in the chat, so I've just written one in the chat.
Oh, you can did you write some comment?
Yes, it came up on our screen, and you can see it on the chat.
Okay.
Yeah,
Live chat. All are visible.
yeah. So I just said that anyone who joins the stream, drop.
Feel free to drop a message in the chat.
Mm.
So you can do that.
Yes, I wrote that. Yeah, so the chat is working fine as far as I can see. Yeah. So yeah, food will be a bit different, and I'm not that impressed with the food in Norway all the time. Like in the UK, we maybe have a bit more variety, but there's certainly a few items of food in Norway which are really good. So yeah, you can try them.
Yeah, I will share it.
Okay. Yeah. And food is, the more I think about it, food is a really important thing to get right because food has two main, yeah, at least two requirements that it gives us. Number one is nutrition, and number two is the enjoyment we get out of it. And so, if you're struggling with the food, you have both, it won't make you feel very happy, and also it might affect your nutrition. And both of those things can make your experience unpleasant. So it's very important to, yeah, you bring a few items if you can, but that will only ever last you a few weeks. So you need to search out your local Asian supermarket because I'm sure from what I know of European countries, every European country will have these Asian supermarkets, and you'll be surprised how many products you can find that are familiar to you.
We will do live next time about the requirements.
Right, yeah. And we'll have to give a disclaimer that we are not professionals working for the immigration department. We can just give the tips of our process. But yeah,
Yes.
but the settling in is uh it's, you can't define how long it's going to take. It takes as long as it does take. um Preparations, like we've said, it depends on the exact situation. In our situation, we haven't even touched on the social integration. So Rose, yeah, is incredibly brave when you travel to a new country and the only person you know is your spouse. Um, jobs will always be a great way of networking, and we've had to prepare for the fact that either a job is not what Rose wants to do, or we have a bit of a struggle finding a good job at the start. And so things like joining a voluntary group to do some volunteering, that can be a great way to gain connections and also build your CV, your resume at the same time. She will also be able to join my friends group as well, but I don't want to force that on her just because they're my friends. She might have not naturally picked them herself, but it gives her a good start. And while it's always good to mix with Norwegians and get some Norwegian friends, which will be a good thing for Rose, it's also good to get Filipino friends. So those people, you'll likely have similar feelings of Norway. You'll both be able to say to each other, "Oh my goodness, I really miss adobo," or "Give me a balut right now, I'm dying." Whereas someone like me won't understand that as much.
Yeah. Um, I will set maybe I don't know if I can find some friends there because I
Yeah.
don't usually going out.
Yeah, but I was just saying to the audience that obviously through a job is where a lot of people start, but also voluntary groups and hobbies as well. If you join a hobby group, it can be as boring as a walking group, it can be as exciting as a skydiving team, it can be anything. And
Yeah,
I mean, with all the boots we've bought as well, we've also bought ice skates. So that's another thing as well. Even if you're just ice skating in public, you might meet someone, but especially if you joined a class. But yeah, and that particularly for Norway as well, joining a social group where you've got a hobby, a sport, or an interest in common is a really common way for Norwegians to join friendships and meet new people.
yeah. George bought me already a skating shoes because I told him that I like to learn how to skating, and then yeah, maybe that would be my sport or cycling or maybe hiking or I don't know.
Hmm.
Let's see, but I like to focus in filming and photography
Mm.
someday.
Yeah. Yeah. And like all hobbies, you don't need a portfolio of amazing photos and 25 and a half cameras to call yourself a photographer. Anyone can be a photographer, and Norway offers some amazing scenery and some amazing art and architecture. So I'm sure you can find some great shots here, and we can have some good fun finding those places to get those shots.
Sorry if I'm eating.
Oh, apology accepted. You're allowed to eat. It's your live stream.
Mukbang. Let's mukbang. Actually, I like if we will like if George and I will go hiking, it's good also. Like it's workout, and then we can see the nature and we can take some photos.
Yeah, it's I can't remember who said it, but there's some famous philosophers I think that say to really explore a new place, you need to do it on foot by walking. I think someone said it about a bicycle as well. I think it was Mark Twain. But there's something about the slower pace. It allows you to take in all the sights and all the information. and hiking's a great example. And of course, you can walk in all sorts of places where a car can't get to. So yeah, take the right clothes and take good food and water. Take your time and enjoy.
And we will bring some outfit like a fairy dress because we will like take those.
Yeah, you can have a fairy dress. I'll pass on the fairy dress for me. I don't think that would look good.
You will wear it.
No, thank you. Well, the good thing is if it fits you, it won't fit me. So yeah, I don't have to worry.
You will look sexy.
No, look, disturbing would be the word I would use.
Maybe my tip also, before you travel in that place, you need to know the cons and pros.
Hmm.
Of course, you can watch that in some YouTube video. And then no search in Google about the place. And
Mm.
then start learning their language also. So that if every time, of course, you will be in immigration and they will interview you and you can tell something about the place, about the country, and then about the language and the culture.
Yeah, this is really good points. Yeah, very good points. And yeah, both the language and learning. The learning as well, like don't just get one point of view. So don't watch one video or read one article because some countries do a great job at promoting how great their country is. And Norway is a good example of that. You just, the first thing of Norway that comes up will probably say, this is the best country in the world, period. And the second point will be, we are the best at this. And it will just go on and on, and on. We're the best, we're the best. And they will hide any negatives. And like any country in the world, there are always going to be some negatives. And the only way for you to find them is make sure you read multiple sources because they will exist. You just need to search them. Sometimes the country's tourism board do a very good job of hiding them from you. So, I mean, Norway, like the two that spring to mind are the socializing, the way of socializing here is quite different to a lot of places in the world. So you need to learn it and be careful. Otherwise, you can find that very challenging and frustrating. We've talked about the weather. Some people just won't like the weather. Everything's expensive, but that is normally balanced out by very good wages. But those things already that you would never hear them on most come to Norway videos because they want you to come here. And then Rose's second point was on language, and that's a really important point. Me, as an English speaker, I'm a bad example of this. We're both not used to learning a new language, and we're also used to other people switching to English so that we don't feel like we need to learn. So, yeah, learning a little bit. It doesn't even, you will learn most of it when you're here in most cases. So don't worry if you're not at a great level. The fact that you've started is the most important thing. It's taught your brain, okay, I'm here, I'm going to learn. And it can also show for other people. It can show an effort.
Yes, that's true.
So, yeah, and most Filipinos are incredibly good in English. I'm always so humbled and pleasantly surprised when I talk to whoever in the Philippines, and that is a great advantage that you've all got when it comes to moving to any European country, particularly the UK and Ireland because that's where they speak the English. But any European country, it will always be a help. So yeah, that that can really help you. Like for instance, in Norway, the Norwegian is the language, and it's totally different to English. But a good grasp of English will help you communicate with almost everyone in Norway because all Norwegians can speak some English, really, and most of them are very, very good in English.
Yeah. So maybe I can talk to anyone there because they are good in English.
Yeah, exactly that. You might find, particularly some of the older generation, they're not quite so comfortable, and they're they're significantly below your standard, Rose. But there'll be plenty of people that you can speak with very easily. What's the snack of choice at the moment?
It's this is 399. It's a Tartlan Baguio Pasarap. It's lingua di gato. I don't know. It's like
I'm sure.
back sugar eggs.
Uh-huh. Oh well, enjoy.
Daddy, we don't have viewers.
Yeah, but people will watch this back again. And we did have a few come in and out, so I expect people will watch it. So we're just over 90 minutes. Do we think that's around the right time?
Yeah, we will rank up first
Hmm.
about things in advice before traveling. One, you will prepare your things, of course, about the good items, the good clothes that you need in that country. Like if it's cold country, like in Norway. So I prepared already some clothes. And then second, bring some items that from your hometown that you like it's a souvenir, it's a very sentimental value that if you will be in Norway or if you will be in other country, you can feel that you're still at home at your parents house, or you will be remembered that like you're only in in your country in Philippines. And then keep in touch, of course, to your loved ones here, like your family. And
Hmm.
that Um, maybe you need to research in advance about what the country are, about their culture, pros and cons, what you should do when you arrive in the airplane and the airport. You need to research all the things that you need to, oh, so that you are aware and what you will do next. Plan it out all. Plan all the things you need to do. And aside of preparing some papers, documents, or requirements, um, check that before you travel, that if it's complete already, and put it here. So you need to buy like this or order like this so that all your papers and documents are all in one and it's waterproof. All your passports, cards, documents are safe here. Everywhere, anywhere you go, it's safe here because this is a long envelope, a bag, customized, personalized. Put your name on it or email address so that if it will lose, they can message you.
Hmm.
And as
Yeah. One more point on those that the folder. The documents, like in our case, are incredibly important. So they're sold, they're under 1K, aren't they? They're 999 pesos, or like that's such a good deal when you think how important the documents are. So whatever you're doing in life, whatever your project is, if you've got some important documents and you value it at least to that amount, then this is a great idea. And this is a different subject, but I used something similar when I was at school, and it makes such a difference in keeping both
Put,
your brain and your actual documents organized.
yes. Actually, this is a promo in sale now. So you need to message me if you want to order. Anywhere, free delivery nationwide, cash on delivery. And then personalized. So I put here my name and then the page. The Journey with Rose. You can message me here in my page.
Mm,
The Journey with Rose. Okay. And aside of that, prepare your prepare yourself, your mental, emotional, and physical before you travel. Especially when you will arrive in that country. And learn their language. Learn the people, the culture, etc.
very good. Should I add a few more from my point of view? Like me as the host, I think having a rough plan of what you're going to do when your partner or your spouse lands in those first couple of weeks is quite important. So some things will be decided for you. Like you'll have to get like government ID and like appointment with the police, for example. Those things will be, you won't have much choice. But everything else, you'll have a lot of choice. Firstly, there's going to be strong emotions and you're going to be very happy to see each other. The traveling party will be very, very tired due to the length of the travel and the jet lag. So, not rushing to try and do anything in the first 24 hours is quite wise. And then our approach is to very slowly get to learn the very local area. So, get to know what the front of the house looks like, because when you arrive it might be dark, and then maybe walking to the local shop that's 5 minutes away. Just little steps, and yeah, not to rush it, because my main job is to make sure Rose feels comfortable at home, somewhere she can relax and unwind and generally feel safe. And yeah, you do that with, yeah, helping her learn the local area, but definitely not rushing into doing anything. There's no immediate rush.
Mm-mm. Just relax, and then when you travel, you need a pocket money in case of emergency. If there's a cancellation or delayed flight, you can book or you can buy some food while you're waiting for your another flight.
Yeah, and as you become more experienced with traveling, you will know that, for example, if it's the airline's fault, if they cancel a flight or it's more than 3 hours late, you will be entitled to compensation. Sometimes you get free food that they will give you. But yeah, it's very dynamic when you travel. It can all change a bit. But I think those are our main tips, aren't they, for this step? And the main thing is, yeah, when you're still not together in physical feeling, you're kind of doing your own preparation in two little locations. So Rose is doing the traveling, but that doesn't mean that I'm not involved in preparing, because this is, she'll be here. She'll be here when this finishes, and so preparing my apartment, getting the special equipment that she will
Yeah,
need.
you
So
need also not only things from Philippines, also things there like George to prepare some things like
mm,
jacket from Norway because the jacket here is different. And then like thermal jackets, leggings, shoes, and hat. and scarf and gloves. So and then, yeah, you need to prepare that because you when you arrive there, you already have that
Mm.
thing that
and
will.
and it forces you to prioritize what is important to you with the two suitcases. So some people will travel, they will probably transport a container with stuff, but I would urge most people to do it simply with suitcases. And the things that you don't take, hopefully you have some family members who can look after some items. But some things, yeah, you'll have to let go of, and you won't be able to travel with. And yeah, it might be a bit painful, but the most important things will come with you. And at the end of the day, it's the people that are the most important and the documents. So,
Yes. Mm-mm.
yeah.
And I have something to say. I forgot.
Uh-huh. Hopefully, you
Like
remember.
yeah. Um. You know. Of course, before you travel, you need to search all the requirements you need. How and when will you pass all the requirements and what are the requirements? But of course, you will know that we will tell that for another video.
Mm,
The what are the requirements traveling and of course requirements for fiancé and spouse visa. But we will tell you about that maybe in our next video or later or soon.
mm,
Yeah, another video
yeah,
about that.
yeah. And if anyone has any questions to this and they watch it back later, maybe you don't get to the end of this video, but if you do, I'll just say that you can write any comments in the comments below. If you've got any questions about some of the things we've gone over, we'll check back in the comments and we'll be happy to answer them as best as we can. Yeah, thank you to the viewers that we had live today. Um, we we hope and we know we'll get a few more as we continue doing this. But yeah, we very much appreciate you tuning in. And yeah, I think we're just about done with this live. So yeah, we really appreciate you joining.
Thank you for watching and please like this video and share to someone you know that um
Hmm.
planning to travel to UK or to Norway or to other country and had a wife or husband or partner or boyfriend girlfriend to other a foreign boyfriend or girlfriend um planning to live in other country. So share this to him or her. That of course we have some tips and advisor that can help him or her. And in our next video also about some processing, preparation, requirements. So subscribe so that you will be updated to our next videos.
Perfect. And I think because we are a long distance couple and it's a community of the same type of people that we will naturally attract as viewers, I think it's going to be nice to end a lot of our videos with a message of positivity and encouragement, and just to say that we know there's ups and downs in this process, and some of the viewers right now might be in one of those down patches, and we're just here to say you can do it. You've obviously come a long way. You've overcome some previous hurdles. You're probably forgetting this. You've overcome all of them to get to this very point you're at now. And you have mine and Rose's full support. And we know whatever situation you're in, you can do it if you want it enough. So, all the best to those who are in a high or a low point in this journey. You'll get there if you want it enough.
Just be patient and always think that you can make it, and it will all be worth it.
Perfect. Okay. Take care, everyone,
See
and
you in
goodbye.
podcast. Bye. Support our YouTube channel. Subscribe. Bye bye.